I gave my neighbor a spare key in case of emergencies. One day I came home to rearranged furniture, open drawers, and my wedding dress slashed. I confronted her in shock, and she whispered, "I just wanted to see how it feels to live as you." But when I checked my closet security camera, the person wearing my clothes wasn't her. I never thought I'd be the kind of person who says this, but giving my neighbor a spare key was the biggest mistake of my life. Not just because of what happened in my house, but because it pulled me into something I still don't fully understand. And now I question everything, my memories, my safety, even my own face. My name's Rachel. I'm 35, live in Fort Collins, Colorado, and I've always tried to be practical. Safe. I lock my doors. I leave lights on timers when we travel. I have smoke detectors in every room. I don't do drama. I don't invite chaos. But I also try to be a decent human. That's how I ended up trusting Kristen. She moved in across the street about 2 years ago. She was quiet, polite, and clean. She had a little dog named Macy, and sometimes we'd chat when we both happened to check the mail at the same time. She complimented my garden once. Asked for my chili recipe another time. I didn't think we were friends exactly, but I liked her. About a year ago, she brought me cookies out of nowhere. Said she wanted to thank me for being so normal. That's how she put it. I laughed it off, but looking back, I should have picked up on how weird that was. I'd told her once that Eli, my husband, worked in IT and traveled for work a lot. She'd asked what I did, and I said dental assistant. Nothing glamorous, but it pays the bills. A few weeks later, I gave her a spare key. She didn't ask for it. I offered. I told her it was only for emergencies, like if the house caught fire, or if Eli couldn't reach me and needed someone to check on me. She promised, "I'll only use it if something seems seriously wrong." I get it, emergencies only. It sat in her kitchen drawer for almost a year. I never thought about it after that. Then came the week Eli went to Chicago. Nothing special happened that Monday or Tuesday. I worked during the day, ate leftovers at night, and watched old crime shows with our cat on my lap. By Wednesday, I was kind of enjoying the peace. I slept with the bedroom window cracked open and let myself stay up too late. Thursday is when it happened. I walked in the door after work and immediately knew something was wrong. It wasn't obvious at first. Nothing was broken. No alarms were going off. But the energy felt wrong. Like someone had been there too long. The couch cushions were slightly out of place. Not flipped or anything, just wrong. Like someone had sat there but tried to make it look untouched. One of the bar stools in the kitchen was pushed in at an odd angle. It was small stuff, but I know my house. I knew something had been moved. Then I walked into the bedroom. The closet doors were wide open. My underwear drawer was pulled out halfway. The jewelry box lid was open. And then I saw my wedding dress. It had been kept zipped inside a white garment bag, stored in the back corner of the closet. I hadn't touched it in years. Now it was on the floor. And it was destroyed. Someone had taken scissors to it. The front was slashed clean down the middle, right through the bodice and skirt. The lace sleeves were shredded. I froze. My chest locked up. My brain felt like it short-circuited. At first I thought maybe it was Kristen. I couldn't imagine why, but she had the key. No one else did. She knew I was home alone. So I marched across the street and pounded on her door. She answered like nothing was wrong. "Hey. Everything okay?" I didn't bother being polite. "Did you go in my house?" Her eyes changed instantly. She wasn't confused. She wasn't scared. She just dropped the act. "I noticed your porch light was flickering." "Thought the power went out," she said, almost too calmly. "I used the key to check. Just wanted to make sure everything was okay." I stared at her. "You slashed my wedding dress." She didn't deny it. She didn't even flinch. She just looked at me, almost sad, and whispered, "I just wanted to see how it feels to live as you." I stepped back like I'd been punched. "What does that even mean?" I asked. "You what?" She didn't answer. Just shut the door. I went straight home and remembered the tiny camera Eli had installed in the closet. It wasn't fancy, but it synced to our phones and had a memory card. I opened the app and scrubbed through the feed. And then I saw her. Only it wasn't her. It was me. I mean, it looked exactly like me. Same build. Same hair. Same mole above the lip. Same weird freckle on my collarbone. I paused the video. Stared at the frame. It was like watching myself walk around my own bedroom, but from outside my own body. I, picked out one of my blouses. Slipped into it. Smelled it. Twirled in the mirror. Then she opened the garment bag, lifted the dress out, and smiled. That's when she got the scissors. I watched her destroy it. She looked happy. Calm. Like she was doing something meaningful. She never looked at the camera once. She moved like she knew where it was. I sent a screenshot to Eli. He called me immediately. "What is this? Is this you?" I said no. Swore up and down it wasn't me. I was at work. I had time-stamped parking lot footage from my office. He believed me. But he didn't understand it. Neither did I. I saved the video, backed it up 3 times, and then called the police. They sent someone out that night. The officer watched the footage, looked at me, and asked, "You sure this isn't you, ma'am?" "Yes. I was at work." "You can verify that." "Well," he said slowly, "could be a twin?" "I don't have a twin." He shrugged. "Looks like you do." That was it. No fingerprints taken. No real investigation. No report filed, because technically, nothing was stolen. I walked around for days feeling like I was going crazy. Eli kept asking if maybe I'd blacked out. But I know I didn't. I have alibis. Phone logs. Everything. A week later, Kristen was gone. A moving truck showed up, 2 guys I didn't recognize started packing up her stuff. I asked them if she was around. "She's not here," one said. Left instructions. Paid online. She vanished like she was never there. But before trash day, I checked her bins. I don't know what I thought I'd find. At the bottom of one bag was a bundle wrapped in scented garbage liners and tissues. A small scrap of my wedding dress. She took it with her. She wanted to keep a piece of it. And now? I'm being watched. After Kristen left, I thought it would be over. But it wasn't. Things got worse. Much worse. About a week after she vanished, I started noticing little things again. The first was my shampoo. I always line up my bottles in a certain way: shampoo, conditioner, body wash. Always. I live alone most of the time when Eli's traveling, and I'm careful. One night, I went to take a shower and the order was reversed. That might sound dumb, but I froze. I stood there dripping wet, just staring at the bottles. I hadn't touched them since the day before. I checked the front door. Locked. The back door. Locked. No sign of forced entry. Then a few nights later, I found muddy footprints in the garage. Not tire tracks. Footprints. Like someone walked in from the outside, past Eli's tools, and right up to the door leading into the house. They stopped there. Then turned back. The next day, I called a locksmith and had every lock replaced. I even had him rekey the garage. But the day after that, I found a note taped to my bedroom mirror. "You look better in blue." That's it. No name. No handwriting I recognized. Just a note. And it wasn't taped on the outside of the mirror. It was taped inside the medicine cabinet, on the mirror behind it. That meant whoever left it had to open my bathroom cabinet and carefully stick it there. I lost it. I called the cops again. They took it more seriously this time. I showed them the note, the closet footage from before, and explained everything that had been happening. They made a report, took the note, but said there wasn't much else they could do unless I had evidence of a break-in or a name to give them. When Eli came home that weekend, he searched the whole house top to bottom. Nothing. No hidden cameras. No signs of tampering. But when he went to check the attic, something I never touch, he found something that made my stomach turn. A blanket. A bag of half-eaten granola bars. An empty water bottle. Someone had been up there. Living. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was going to pass out. Eli called the cops again, and this time, they actually responded fast. They searched the attic, the crawl spaces, even the garage ceiling. But whoever was up there was gone. They said it looked like transient sheltering. That was their term for it. Probably a squatter, maybe someone mentally ill. They said it was good I found it early. But they also said it didn't prove who it was. The next night, I got another note. This one was on the back of the toilet tank lid, hidden under the cover. You shouldn't have changed the locks. That's when I stopped sleeping. Eli stayed with me for a few days, but he had to go back to work again. His boss was pushing him hard on some project. I didn't blame him, but I begged him not to leave me alone. He didn't have a choice. That Monday night, I stayed up late with every light on. I sat in the living room holding a flashlight in one hand and a hammer in the other. I must have fallen asleep sitting up, because I woke up around 4 a.m. And the TV was on. I never turned it on. The screen showed static. Loud, fuzzy static. I don't know why, but I got up and walked over to it. Just stared at the screen. Then I saw the shape in the reflection. Behind me. I turned fast, but no one was there. I was losing it. Or someone was trying hard to make me think I was. That morning, I went to Kristen's old house. I needed answers. I didn't care how crazy I looked. The landlord was there, changing the locks for the new tenants. I asked him if he had a forwarding address for Kristen. He said no. She left in the middle of the lease. Didn't even ask for her deposit back. He thought she was running from something. I asked if she lived alone. He paused. Well, officially, yeah, he said. But there was someone else I saw there sometimes. Looked just like her. Maybe a sister? Looked like her how? I asked. Like, same face. It was creepy. They dressed alike too. Never saw them at the same time. I thanked him and left. My legs were shaking as I got into my car. There were two of them. Kristen, and whoever the hell the other one was. I started digging. I requested public records. Searched her name online. Paid for background check services. Most of it came up blank or dead ends. But then I found something strange. About 8 years ago, there was a small town outside of Pueblo, Colorado, only a couple hours from here, where a woman named Kristen M_____ was listed in a local newspaper clipping. It wasn't anything big, just a note about a public library event. I called the library and asked if she used to live there. The librarian said yes. But that Kristen had a twin sister named Kayla. They were inseparable. Creepy close. People in town called them mirror twins. One day, they both left town without warning. No goodbyes. No forwarding info. Just gone. And now I know why that woman in my house looked exactly like me. She wasn't trying to be me. She was trying to replace me. After I found out Kristen had a twin sister named Kayla, I couldn't think straight. Everything made more sense and less sense at the same time. I wasn't just dealing with a neighbor who crossed boundaries. I was dealing with someone who had a partner. Someone who didn't act alone. Kristen hadn't just broken into my house. She had help. And based on what the landlord said, how they looked identical, how he never saw them together, they'd been running this kind of game for years. But why me? Why my life? Why my face? I tried to go back to work, but I couldn't focus. I kept checking the cameras from my phone every few minutes. I barely slept. Eli kept calling to check in, but he didn't know what to say anymore. He wanted me to leave the house and stay in a hotel until things calmed down. I didn't want to run. I wanted answers. So I kept digging. I remembered that when Kristen first moved in, she said she came from out east. She never gave details. So I tried looking up incidents tied to her name, or Kayla's, in Colorado and nearby states. I found nothing concrete. But then I searched a different way. I looked up break-ins where no valuables were taken, only personal items, clothes, journals, small keepsakes. Ones where the scene looked watched. And I found 3 different reports in Wyoming, Utah, and Kansas over the past 5 years. Same pattern every time. A woman reported her home had been broken into. Nothing stolen. Just rearranged. Clothing moved. One woman even said someone left behind a scarf that wasn't hers, in her own closet. I called the number listed in one of those articles. The woman picked up. Her name was Darla. She lived in Laramie, Wyoming. Said it happened 2 years ago. Her fiancé was out of town. She came home to her furniture shifted, her old prom dress slashed, and her lingerie drawer opened. I asked if she had security cameras. She said no, but that she wished she had. Because when she talked to the police, they didn't believe her. Just like with me. I asked if she ever met anyone new before it happened. A neighbor. A friendly woman. She got quiet. Then she said, yeah. A woman moved in across the street about 6 months before. Friendly. Pretty. Weird smile. Name was Christy, I think. Christy. Kristen. Same difference. My stomach turned. These women weren't just watching people. They were studying them. Getting close. Learning everything they could before stepping in and trying to become them. It was more than obsession. It was a pattern. A project. I thought about the way that lookalike, Kayla, I'm assuming, moved through my house on camera. Like she'd rehearsed it. Like she belonged there. I wondered how many other women had gone through this and never realized. How many thought they were just going crazy. I started documenting everything. I took photos, videos, printed out time logs, and started a binder. If something happened to me, I wanted there to be proof. Then came the breaking point. One night around 2 a.m., I heard a soft knock at the front door. Not the doorbell. A knock. Light. Measured. Like whoever was doing it didn't want to wake the neighbors. I didn't move. I sat in the hallway, holding my phone and quietly turning the volume down on the security cam feed. The front porch cam was on. Someone was standing there. Wearing a hoodie pulled low. Facing the door. Still. I zoomed in. And I swear on my life, it was me. Same face. Same lips. Same tired eyes. But the expression, it was wrong. She was smiling. Slow. Almost tender. Like she was visiting an old friend. She knocked again. Then turned and walked away. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. When the sun came up, I grabbed my keys and drove to Denver. I didn't tell anyone. Not even Eli. I just needed to get out of town for a day, clear my head. I stayed in a hotel near Union Station. It was quiet. I locked the door with every latch and wedge I could find. But when I came back the next morning, something was waiting for me. On the kitchen table. My wedding photo. The original one I kept in a frame by the fireplace. Only the frame was missing. And Eli's face had been cut out of the picture. Just mine was left. Still smiling. I stood in my kitchen staring at that mutilated wedding photo for what felt like hours. The air around me felt thick, like the walls were closing in. I wasn't even shocked anymore. I was past that. I was somewhere between rage and numbness. Eli's face had been cut clean out of the photo. Just a neat, perfect hole where he used to be. Like he never existed. Like whoever did this wanted to erase him and keep only me. That's when something in me snapped. I wasn't going to sit here scared anymore. I wasn't going to let these women win, Kristen, Kayla, whatever their real names were. If they wanted my life, they were going to learn exactly what it meant to earn it. So I made a plan. The first thing I did was call Eli. I told him I needed him to come home, immediately. No questions, just fly back. He didn't argue. I think he heard the edge in my voice and knew I wasn't messing around. The second thing I did was install 2 more hidden cameras. One in the hallway vent, one under the kitchen table pointing toward the door. And I replaced the closet cam with a better one that had sound recording. I had a feeling they'd come back. Then I drove back to Denver, not to hide, but to do something else. I met with Darla, the woman from Laramie. She agreed to see me after I told her what happened. We sat in a coffee shop and traded stories. I showed her the photo. The camera footage. The notes. She showed me a photo of the woman she thought was Christy. It was Kristen. Different hair color, same face. And in the background of one photo she took from her porch, standing in the window of Kristen's house, was a second woman. Identical. Staring right at the camera. I gave Darla something too, a GPS tracker disguised as a necklace. I had a few of them from Eli's job. We agreed, if either of us saw them again, we'd find out where they were hiding. We'd stop being prey. Eli flew back the next day. He barely got his bags inside when I showed him everything. The new footage, the photo, the attic stuff. I told him I was done waiting for the police to act. Either help me end this, I said, or go stay with your parents. He stayed. That night, we faked it. I parked my car 2 blocks away and left the front blinds open like usual. Eli left a hoodie near the door, his keys and wallet forgotten on the counter. I shut off the cameras from my phone so they'd think we weren't watching anymore. Then we waited. At 3:13 a.m., the hallway cam pinged me. Movement. I opened the feed silently. There she was. Same woman from before. Kayla. Wearing my nightgown this time. The exact one I'd been looking for 2 days earlier. Her hair was tied the way I do before bed. She looked around the house slowly, like she was home. Like she belonged. But this time, she wasn't alone. Kristen followed behind her. Same face, slightly older. Watching like a handler watches a child. Calm. Focused. Like she was teaching her. They moved through the house silently. Kristen whispered something I couldn't hear, then pulled out a small bottle. I couldn't tell what it was, but Kayla nodded. She walked to the fridge, opened it, and poured something into the milk carton. Eli's milk. That's when I lost it. I stormed in through the back door with Eli behind me and a stun baton in my hand. Get out of my house. Kayla dropped the milk. Kristen froze. They didn't run. Kristen just turned and looked at me, smiling like we were old friends. You weren't supposed to be here yet, she said softly. I raised the baton. Eli stepped between me and the women, holding up his phone, already dialing 911. You poisoned our food, he yelled. What the hell is wrong with you? Kayla looked at me, face blank, then tilted her head. I was never going to hurt you, she said. I just wanted to feel normal. You have everything. You broke into my house. You wore my clothes. You slept in my bed. I was better at it than you, she whispered. Eli noticed. I lunged. I didn't even think. The baton cracked across the counter as Kristen pulled Kayla back. I missed. They tried to run. But we were ready. Eli hit the panic button on our security system, locking the smart deadbolts and triggering the silent alarm. Police were there in under 4 minutes. They arrested both women. Caught red-handed with gloves, sedatives, and a flash drive full of photos. Photos of me. Of other women. Of homes. Not just from our town. From towns across 3 states. They were building identities. Studying us. Copying us. Trying us on like clothes. The detective called it identity mirroring. Said it was rare but not unheard of. Most cases didn't end cleanly. Some women just disappeared. Kristen and Kayla were charged with multiple counts of breaking and entering, stalking, attempted poisoning, and identity theft. During the search of their last rented unit, police found wigs, IDs, journals, clothes, hundreds of them. One of the journals was mine. It had entries copied word for word from my actual one. They must have read it when I was gone. Then rewritten it, as if they were me. Kristen tried to plead insanity. Kayla wouldn't speak at all. But here's where it turns. I sued them. Civil court. Emotional distress, invasion of privacy, defamation, attempted bodily harm. And I won. The state seized their property. Kristen had inherited money from a deceased and years ago. It was how they'd kept running so long. That inheritance? Gone now. Turned over to the victims. Darla got a cut. So did 2 other women who came forward after seeing the news. I used the money to sell our house and move. Not to hide, but to live. Eli and I left Colorado for good. We bought a house in Oregon. Coastal. Quiet. With better cameras and a steel-reinforced door. I don't leave spare keys with anyone anymore. And my new wedding dress? It's locked in a safe. Because I learned something. Some people don't want your things. They want your place in the world. And if you give them an inch of trust, they'll take your entire skin and try it on for size. But not mine. Not anymore.